For the Buddhist practitioners, especially for the meditation, for the concentration, there's a two vocabulary which is very important you might come across. That is a Samatha and Vipassana. Samatha, sometimes it is called as just concentration, or just called tranquility, or simply means that the Samatha, just as a Samma, is the same word as a right view, which means that it's pacifying your mind, calming your mind with the help of some kind of toys, with the help of some kind of something, maybe with the help of your watching at the breathing, with the help of watching at some object, the color, whatever it is. So that is just to concentrate your mind. Once your mind is concentrated, because in generally, Buddha says that our mind is just like a monkey mind, because we are never sit quiet, sit still. Our mind is always trying to think this, think that. But it is so quick that it's always jumping around. So that's why the ability, the power of mind is lessened by that, because we never have this concentration. So if you have the concentration, that is a normal practice of human being, because if you want to do something, if you want to succeed in something, of course, you have to put your mind, body, and heart together to concentrate that. When you're reading for your exam, of course, you say you can cut off everything and then memorize things very clearly. When you are doing some business, you can put all the data together and work together. But if your mind is not concentrated, then it becomes so difficult. So the first part of it is that called samatha. But Buddha's idea is that it is not enough just pacifying your mind, just concentrating your mind to the one focus, one pointedness mind is not enough. Of course, it gives a very boosting, it gives a very kind of sharp sort of sharp arrow to pinch through, but it's not enough. So Buddha asks the second step of a Buddhist practice of a mindfulness, the called concentration, is that Vipassana. Vipassana, for a lot of people, sometimes they say that Samatha is lower, Vipassana is higher, but from the text it doesn't matter. It is not on lower, it is not in hierarchy, it is a development, it's a two-way of development. You can concentrate and you can stop sort of a way of thinking and just thinking in one focus, something in a good, which is not a good in a sense that good as English good, it's just a neutral, I will say. If you are good, it means that you will attach to the good and you will go to the heaven, I guess, because heaven is always people thinking that the good. So if you think in a negative, then you will go to the hell again. So it is not about the good and evil, but it's about a neutrality. So if you put your mind to the neutrality, it's that there's nothing to think. You just be like that. Breathing in and breathing out, just a truth is like that. It is whether breathing in is looks full, is fresh or good. No, you don't have to think about that. It just be that action. So once you that is a tranquility, that is a concentration, samatha. But Buddha says that then once you are able to concentrate your mind, then develop your mind to be more comprehensive. It's a more kind of contemplative. So that is called Vipassana. Vipassana is generally we translate in English as insight. I don't know when we say insight, how much, what sort of meaning we will make it from the word insight. Sight is seeing, in from the inner, insight. What does it really mean? But I personally love to translate it as a we is extraordinary. We means that it is a special actually in Pali. And passana means that seeing. So it is a seeing extraordinarily. So it is what I say that is an X-ray way of seeing things. So if you have developed the Vipassana, means that you don't see a cup as a cup. You will say this is a cup, that is a concentration, this is a way of samatha. But if you have this X-ray point of seeing, then you will see that this is a ceramic, this is this is a clay, this is a lot of things combined, there's the earth, there's the energy, there's the water. So you can see that everything is, scattered. Everything is, you can see the part and parcel, what makes cups. And then once you understand that what makes cup, then you will see that is there such thing as a cup. Then you will try to ask. That is a Vipassana. Then you will have have extraordinary seeing. So if this is a cup, then I will say that, this is a quite nice cup. This is a very good quality cup. This must be very expensive. This is given by some of my very best friends. So I love this. So you're trying to, when you see that as a cup, you started to develop the attachment. And when you started development, you are trying to build the seed of suffering on that. But if you vipassana, if you x-ray it, there is no such thing as cup. You will see all as a, maybe easy example with as a paper. If you see the piece of paper, the paper, there's such thing as a paper or not. But if you see it through the vipassana, you might see as a piece of cloud. Because if there's no cloud, there wouldn't be any rain. Without a rain, there wouldn't be any tree. And without tree, there wouldn't be any paper. But these days, people are very smart. They cut the tree and make a paper, and then they write the paper in the paper that a done cut tree. But not knowing that where that paper comes from before they write that. So this is the way of looking at the vipassana. So vipassana is extraordinary seeing. You are able to really penetrate and see things as it is, in a way that, how it combined together. So make you understand that there is no such thing as a this and that. So once you are able to understand there is no such thing as this and that, you are free. So you don't have the attachment. So once you don't have attachment, then you don't have a dukkha, you don't have a suffering. And then you are able to accept what is going on around you in the way as it is. And then once you are able to adjust that, that is what is called happiness in Buddhism, Sukha. Not in different, in English word, Sukha is always pursuit for happiness. Because in Latin, the happy is from the luck and fortune. So luck and fortune, you have to, pray for it. You have to always think, wish for it. Wish you luck, wish you fortune. But happiness in Buddhism is Sukha. Doesn't mean that. Sukha means that Su means that easy, and Kha means that tolerance. Is adaptation. So easily adaptable. So basically means that once you are able to understand that, see the nature of that, okay. So I shouldn't expect more than that, because nature is that. If the nature is that, if you expect more than that, so it is not possible. So able to adjust yourself, your surroundings. And then at the same time, it means that you have to develop the base on what is the situation there. It doesn't mean that just accept that and doing nothing. No, you are doing better thing. But it is not disturbing the nature. It is not disturbing the others. You are taking the social responsibility. You are taking your self-responsibility. But at the same time, you have a development at the same time. And that is what all about the vipassana.